Hi guys, I'm Gasha. Welcome to the channel and welcome as always to our coffee times to talk about horror, but today with a little bit of humor because I'm here to recommend you some books that are horror combined with comedy.
It's coffee time.
So actually I had this video planned and already like written down all the book titles I wanted to mention and everything, and I wanted to upload these on the 1st of April for April's Fools. But then in March I was really sick and I was just a mess and it never happened, and I felt like I had missed my mark. I had missed my date. But then I thought, I originally created this channel to get in touch with other people that love books, that read books, because I don't really have friends in real life that read books or are obsessed about books or horror as I am. So it was a great thing for me to join the community. And then as I started uploading more and more, I decided that I also wanted to create a channel where people could come and get book recommendations, get book ideas, and all of those nice things. So even though I'm not a huge fan of horror comedies, I know that a lot of people out there really enjoy it, and some people sometimes are looking for some lighter reads that have a little bit of humor in them to lighten up the mood. And so I decided to put up this list for you guys. Now I have not read every single one of these. I've read some of them, but I hope that you find something on this list that you're interested in checking out. The idea also came from a book that I'm gonna give an honorable mention to, and that is The Rat List by Matt Haig. Matt Haig is somebody that does combine kind of horror or sci-fi always with humor, and The Rat List is going to be the perfect book for you if you're looking for a complete different vampire story with a little bit of sarcastic humor. Let's start with one of those authors that has done horror humor in the past that is kind of really beloved in the horror community, and that is Grady Hendrix. So honestly, there's different books that I could recommend you, but I have heard from people that the one that is a little bit more of a comedy is Horror Store, which is on my wish list, but I still have not read. So at some point I will read it. Obviously this takes place on an IKEA store, but he cannot use that name, so he used orc, which is kind of like I guess a Nordic word. And basically the employees at the store every day go to work and find things broken, out of place. They don't know what happens at the store overnight, so 3 of the employees volunteer to spend the night and see what happens when the lights go down. So this sounds just so much fun, and I feel like the book is kind of edited in the way that it looks like an IKEA catalog, and I don't know, I'm really intrigued to figure out what happens in this book. Next is a book that has been recommended to me many times and I really do want to pick up, and that is Bunny by Mona Awad, and this is a satirical dark academia kind of story. And I'm actually really intrigued because our main character is kind of like an outcast. She doesn't really like other people. Samantha is an introvert, but she gets accepted to this program at a very selective university and she decides to go. But she's more interested in her own things and dreams and ideas and stuff, and she's kind of in her own dark bubble. But she's gonna get to know other people there and also the popular people in this school. So it is kind of like a dark academia, but I am excited to see how the humor is here because I do love a good satire, and this is supposed to be sarcastic. I don't know what to expect, like I said, but it's been recommended to me multiple times, so at some point I really have to pick this one up. I do like dark academia, so I am excited. Meddling Kids by Edgar Cantero, and this is a middle grade, so it's going to be perfect for people that want something spooky and funny, because this one combines kind of like Scooby-Doo vibes with the myth of Cthulhu. So it is that kind of vibe. So if you don't like adult books or you want to find some fun horror to recommend to your kids, this might be the one for you. In the 70s, there was a bunch of kids that created this kind of detective club to try to solve mysteries in the town and stuff like that. And now we are in the 90s and they are grown-ups, but they want to find out what actually happened in the 70s and go back kind of to those cases. So of course that also gives you kind of it vibes in some way. So if you like this kind of stories, this one might be for you. Touch of Jen by Beth Morgan, and this is a book that is going to shift between tones. This book starts more like a comedy and kind of like a millennial comedy, and then it merges into something truly terrifying. Jen is a jewelry designer and she's very successful, and you know, her life is going great, and then she gets invited by some friends to spend kind of like a little holiday in the Hamptons for some surfing, and when she gets there things get really weird. So I think this one kind of needs a specific target audience. Like, it might not be for everybody. This is one of those that it is a little bit more weird. It is psychedelic horror, so just keep that in mind. The Last Final Girl by Stephen Graham Jones, and I picked this one because there's been many books that kind of merge a little bit of comedy into your typical slasher story, but I feel like this one did such a good job to bring that kind of satire into the tropes of a final girl in slasher movies. Now, this book is not edited and, you know, kind of written like your typical book. It kind of reads more like a script, like a proper movie script. So a lot of people found that that was something that put them off from the book, so just keep that in mind as well. But I really did enjoy this one. Eat Your Heart Out by Kelly Davis, and this is a YA story that has been described to be a mix between Shaun of the Dead, which, if you don't know, it's a zombie comedy, and Dumpling, which is kind of like more of a drama comedy that I actually really love Dumpling. So this is a very interesting mix. So we follow Vivian, and she is what a lot of people would consider a fat girl, but she loves her body, she's happy with herself, but she's being sent to a camp to lose weight. It's called, I think, the Camp Featherlight. Yikes. So when she gets there, basically she's going to discover that there is a lot more behind that camp and what happens there, that one probably all the parents think that send their kids there. So of course, keep in mind that this book is going to address weight loss and all of that, if that's something that you don't feel comfortable reading about. June Dies at the End by David Wong, and I feel like this is one of the most well-known ones, also because it was as well turned into a film. And this one is really more on the comedy side than anything else. And it is about these guys that are convinced that there's something sketchy going on with this drug called soy sauce, and they're trying to figure everything out, and it's just a lot of fun. I feel like if you love this type of, you know, goofy friends that end up in a big mess, this one is definitely for you. So there is less of horror aspects, I would say, and this one is heavier on the comedy side of things. Blood-Sucking Fiends by Christopher Moore, another author that is really well known for turning nearly every topic into a comedy. We follow Jodie that never asked to be a vampire, but yet one day she wakes up on a dumpster and she realizes that she has been turned, and she has all of these superpowers and this need for blood, and now she's kind of fudged. If you have read previously books by Christopher Moore, you would know that he has a very specific type of writing that might not be for everybody, and a very specific type of humor. I would say it's a bit more similar to the books of Matt Haig, and you know, you really need to like his writing to be invested in the stories and to have fun with them, not take his books seriously, really. So if you read anything else by him, you know what you're getting yourself into. Jill's All Fright Dinner by A. Lee Martinez, and Jill's All Fright Dinner is a place where zombie attacks happen a lot, and you never know what you're gonna find in the freezer. Duke and Earl decide to make a stop with their pickup truck and stop at this diner to have a bite, to rest, and they don't plan to stay long, but then they get offered to get rid of their zombie problems because our main characters are a werewolf and a vampire. So this sounds completely down their alley, something that they're gonna have fun with, and hopefully you will have fun too. End to end, I wanted to end actually with a classic today, and I know that there's not like all this abundance of horror comedy classics out there, but there is also a guy called Seth Graham Smith, and this guy sometimes takes classic stories and turns them into something horrific, like Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies, which is gonna be perfect, of course, if you know the original works. But I also feel like this is a lot of fun zombie story because This takes place somewhere where you would not expect a zombie apocalypse. And as a quick bonus for you guys, a quick 2 bonus, because I have 2 more books by the author and they are also horror comedy, I would like to quickly mention for you guys this book that is The Last American Vampire and Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. Also great choices if you're looking for horror comedy. Alright you guys, so this is everything that I wanted to recommend you today. I hope that you had fun. I hope that you found here something that you would be interested in picking up. I don't read, like I said, so much horror comedy, but sometimes it's such a nice, fluffy, light read just to bring a little bit of fun when you're reading really dark things, as I tend to read sometimes. So if you're looking for something to cheer up the mood a little bit, pick up one of these and let me know how it went. Thank you guys so much as always for watching and for all your support, and I hope to see you all as always in our next coffee time. Bye!